I can have everyone's attention here in the Media Center. At this time, we welcome Kyle Busch, winner of the New England 200. Bear with me as we go through some of these stats, please. With this win today at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Kyle becomes the third driver with 100 National Series victories. Busch also tied Mark Martin atop the all-time NASCAR Nationwide Series wins list at 49. The Las Vegas native has won 22 times in the Sprint Cup Series, 49 in the Nationwide Series, and 29 in the Camping World Truck Series. His first win came in 2004 in a nationwide race at Richmond International Raceway, 12 days after his 19th birthday. Busch also won across NASCAR's 3 National Series at 25 different tracks, capturing wins in all 3 series at 8 of those tracks, and became NASCAR's first 3-race weekend sweep winner a year ago at Bristol Motor Speedway. After all that, just talk a little bit about the race today and how you're feeling right now.
Well, I hope we stop rattling off all of those after today. I think we get it. It's just it's a great opportunity for myself to race in NASCAR and to participate in as many races as I do and to win as often as we have. You know, it takes great teams with everybody from Joe Gibbs Racing and Jason and all the guys to Dave and all the guys to Kyle Busch Motorsports and Eric and Rick Wren and everybody there. So certainly it's been fun. You know, it's been exciting here the past few seasons and being able to win as often as we have in a nationwide series especially, but of course to tie Mark's record at 49. But of course, all over the NASCAR circuit to win 100, it's pretty cool. So we're halfway to my number. I always said it's 200, and whether it's relative to to Richard or to David Pearson's, that's not what I'm out here for. It's for myself and myself only, and to be able to achieve a goal. And you set your goals high and you try to get out there and do it. If I set a goal that I knew I could reach, then it wouldn't really be a goal. So it's off on the horizon. It's a few years down the road, but hopefully one day we get to 200.
Okay, joining Kyle at the table here today is crew chief Jason Ratcliff. Jason, talk a little bit about your strategy today in the race.
Well, it wasn't as good as I hoped it would be when it started, but typical New Hampshire race for us. Kyle does a good job of keeping the fenders on it and staying up front, and we adjust on our car all day. And we haven't led a lot of laps in the last 3 wins, but we just stay close to the front, and usually the guys on pit road can get it done, and we can do some race strategy to get us out front and get our track position. And today it just wasn't happening. Everybody was doing the same stuff, and I thought, man, we're not going to get it. And I think it was like lap 152 or 3 where this guy goes 3 wide with somebody and gets about 3 spots in one corner, and so we got our track position. So finally, once we did that, I knew that we had an opportunity to get it, and I was glad to do it. Glad to do it here at New Hampshire.
Certainly needing no introduction, joining them at the table is NASCAR veteran Mark Martin. Mark, just talk a little bit about, you knew this was coming. We've heard some comments from you before. How are you feeling today, and how exciting is it to be here with Kyle?
Well, it's pretty incredible. I remember watching Kyle the first time I saw him drive on a 1.5 miles. I'm not sure exactly where it was, if it was Charlotte or where it was, but in a nationwide car, and the way I recall it, it was his first time, in a nationwide car on a 1.5 mile racetrack. And I watched his first lap, and it was like he'd been doing it for forever. And that right there probably impressed me as much as where he sits today, because you can't, some people can learn how to drive these race cars if they really, really want to and work really, really hard at it. But the guys that already know how before they ever do it, and they work really hard at it, are always more successful. And that's the case with Kyle. He was a natural from the first time he slipped in one of these, big stock cars on a big racetrack, NASCAR car. So it's been amazing to watch, and it's hard for me to get my arms around, that he is where he is at his age. It's amazing. It's really great that NASCAR is in a position today to give an opportunity to young drivers, and get an opportunity, because 30 years ago, having a 25-year-old driver was not something that a top team would want to have. So it's really cool to see. I'm just as impressed as everyone else with this guy every week.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions. Please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. Always state your name and affiliation. We'll start with Mike, go over to Mark.
Kyle, congratulations. Mike Vega, Boston Globe. Just wanted to ask you, yesterday you were asked about the 99 preceding wins that you had and which ones made the lasting impression upon you, but you said that they all kind of run into each other after a while and that you always think about the next one, not dwell on the last one, but here you are at 100. Where do you file this one in the memory bank, and what will be the lasting impression when you make that mental snapshot of this win?
It's a tough question. To me, there's been so many that have been great just because of certain circumstances that made them great. Whether it was leading all the laps at Phoenix earlier this year, or being able to come back from a lap down and win a race, or to have problems in the winter. Adversity is kind of the ones that stand out in your mind the most, that you're most satisfying to you. But today is a great one. It'll stick out for a long time because it is number 100. But I'm not going to say that this is the biggest one because it's certainly, I think the inaugural win at Kentucky is bigger than today, and my first win at Las Vegas is bigger than this today. But this is certainly a special day because it is number 100, and it does tie Mark Martin's record of 49 in the Nationwide Series.
Okay, next question, Mark.
Mark Garrow, PRN. Kyle, how do you feel about your name being mentioned in the same breath of a Mark Martin who, when he hangs it up, will be in the NASCAR Hall of Fame? And, you're talking about Richard Petty and David Pearson. These are names that they're in the Hall of Fame. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Just how do you feel about all of a sudden your name is in the same conversation with these guys?
Yeah, certainly. You got to retire first, right, to get in the Hall of Fame. So,
It's going to be a while.
so apparently he's not going to be an inductee anytime soon, but that's all right. More power to him. I said on TV, he's young at heart. He wants to keep doing it. So that's awesome. But for myself to be mentioned in the same category as a Mark Martin or a Sam Art or Moroso was always really good from what I understand. Never really got to see him race, but there's also a few other guys that Houston. I can't remember all off the top of my head right now, but that made the Nationwide Series and made it exciting. In its heyday of the, I guess it was '82 is when it started, right? The Busch Series, 82. So through the '80s and the early '90s, and this guy here going at it for a long time through the '90s and 2000s. So it's fun to look back on those and see that my name is atop the list, with the rest of those guys, and there's many more to go, hopefully. So we can certainly make it a large number one day, and we'll see how that all tallies up in the end.
Okay, we'll take a question back here and then come over here to Bob.
Hi, Rich Thompson, Boston Herald. Kyle, why were you untouchable on restarts today?
I don't know. I got a few dings in my left rear quarter panel, so I got touched a few times. But, the restarts is something I've concentrated on for a long time at trying to get better at. A couple times I spun my tires there, but not too bad, and got going in order to stay with the 6, and then the 33 got a good restart there on the last one. But when you run through turns 1 and 2 pretty hard, you get some good speed built up through there. Try to get your momentum back up to speed as quick as you can because these cars don't have much horsepower, so you've got to try everything you can to get your speed rolling up. And we were able to do it. Our car was pretty good.